So I've got this big project I'm really excited about, right? Like this is not an actual project, but whenever I'm excited about a real big project, I can still feel really overwhelmed by the project. I feel paralyzed because it's so huge. The goal is so big, there's so much to do, there's so many facets to it. I don't even know where to get started. So I figured out this mental trick that I use to go crush whatever project's ahead of me. What's up, everybody? I'm TK, you're watching Unstoppable. Today is another Unstoppable Sunday. Unstoppable Sundays are about two things. One, we ask ourselves, where am I? And two, we ask ourselves, what do I do next? All of this is designed so that you actually live a more proactive life. All right, I had to move inside. So I'm spending time with family here in Dallas, in my Dallas home. It is so hot outside. Anyway, I'm back in the kitchen to do the rest of this episode, so let's just jump into it. Moving right along, today I want to talk about paralysis. Paralysis is one of those things that we all encounter when we're excited about an idea, but we don't quite know how to get into it. I have had this at the beginning of every major project. I get super pumped, I get super excited. On one hand, I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I can't wait to get started on it. On the other hand, I get overwhelmed by the sheer enormity of the problem. This happens particularly when you're taking on projects after you've had a big win. Once you've had a big win, you're feeling really good and you're like, oh, I want to take on this next project, but then you're like, well, will this be as successful as the next one? That's the part I want to talk about. The interesting thing about Unstoppable Sundays is on Sundays, we teach you how to visualize, how to be proactive, how to plan out the next 7 days. The thing is, just coming up with the idea and visualizing what you want and getting proactive about how you want to spend your days is only half the battle. The other half is actually executing. That's why when we talk about becoming unstoppable, unstoppable is about having belief, and that's like believing in the vision that you have for yourself and defining it. And the other part is discipline. And the discipline is doing the action, actually executing and going at it and saying what you're gonna do. On the last episode, I talked about the 5-second rule. That's when you just feel like procrastinating. You know what you need to do, but you're not doing it. So you can check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Today, I want to talk about that little gap between knowing what you want and how to go about it and actually attacking it. And in between that, once you're motivated, there's still the scary part about not knowing where to start. And so I started using this one trick that has completely changed how I approach even bigger projects. I use this principle called just shrink it. And so no matter how big a project, there are always ways to shrink it. The first thing I look for is what are the things that I can do that are easy to do, quick hits, and quick outcomes that can start to show the vision of what I'm trying to do with the project. The second thing I try to do is what are the big conceptual parts I can break this into? So many times we say we have to do this big thing and it's gonna be so complicated. In reality, there's actually smaller pieces of that, shrunken pieces of that bigger piece that you can do piecemeal. Quick two things that I do is first, I find the low-hanging fruit, the quick hits, and then I try to shrink the other big parts into smaller parts. And over time, you start to gain momentum. You start to get action going. That's the part we just love about every project. The reality is you don't get a running start like that. Rome wasn't built in a day. And you're not gonna build your empire in a day. The next time you're feeling overwhelmed, a little paralyzed, start by attacking the low-hanging fruit. And then figure out, how do I shrink this? What are the smaller pieces that I can break this down into to start attacking? As you get the action flowing, then bigger and bigger things can start to happen. And as always, I wanna hear from you, so comment below. What do you do when you are excited about a project, but afraid of getting started? I want to get the discussion going, so share your tips. Mine is just shrink it. Get after the low-hanging fruit and then break the bigger parts into smaller pieces. I want to hear from you on if you have other mental tricks that our community can benefit from. I'm TK, thank you for watching Unstoppable. We do these episodes every Sunday, and every Sunday we talk about where am I and what do I do next. By the way, if you love these Unstoppable videos, we do these every Sunday to teach you and to talk about how to live a more proactive life. Please hit the like button. Hitting the like button means that you show us your appreciation, which makes us feel really good. And also it helps us spread our message to your network and impact more people. If you're interested in living a more proactive life, we actually have an online 2-week email course that you can subscribe to. And we'll give you all the tools and all the ideas that we try to set as the foundation of Unstoppable to help you become more proactive in your life and essentially have a strategy for your life. The link for that is down below. And just remember, everyone needs a strategy for their lives. Yours just needs to be unstoppable. I'll see you next week.